What's up, guys? This is the Minister of Beauty. We're going to just talk about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. All right, so again, I'm not doing reviews of the episodes. We're just going to talk about some of the things that we've seen. And so far, there have been 2 episodes. So let's just talk about it, guys. I really got triggered watching this show. The very first show that I saw, I got triggered. And I thought about it and said, I think I'm going to talk about this one. All right, so Salt Lake City, Utah. I've never been there. It looks beautiful. The views look amazing. The mountains, the snow, the beautiful views, the homes, the architecture and, the roads and just everything. It just looks very well kept. It is someplace that I would like to visit at some point in some time, someday. Don't know when that will be, but Salt Lake City, Utah, Utah alone is known as a very heavily populated Mormon community. And the Mormons, it's a religion I don't know a ton about, but what I do know is just super creepy and weird. And so to say that we've got the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, I was just interested to see what they were going to show on this show, because honestly, the reality shows that I've watched that were based out of Utah was like Escaping Polygamy. And I don't know if you guys ever seen that show, but if you've got the Tubi app, pull it up, watch it. It will make you cringe. The Mormon community, they have a lot of weird rules. They do believe in plural marriages. There's a lot of other things that they believe in and they also denounce. And then there are sects, not S-E-X, but S-E-C-T-S. And that's just short for sections of the Mormons that are super, even more so like strict with their rules. And that Escaping Polygamy show is definitely a sect of the Mormon community. It's the FLDS, and they are under the leadership of that guy Warren Jeffs, who's in prison for life plus 20 years for assaulting several young women. Like, he had like over 80 wives. Some of them were like 13 and 12 years old. Like, it's crazy. And the show Escaping Polygamy, I know, guys, I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent, but I'm just going to say that to catch me up to where I am now as to why I'm even talking about the show. The show Escaping Polygamy is based off of 3 young women who were born into the FLDS community, and they escaped, and they were emancipated from their parents and adopted by other people, and they help other people who want to escape it, because it's a cult. It is a religious cult, and it's all about sex and money and power and control. The men control the women. The women wear these like crazy hairstyles and these dresses. It's just really weird. And anyway, I'll stop talking about that, and then we'll go now into the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. One of the reasons why I wanted to watch this show, and just out of curiosity, I just was like, based off of what I know about the Mormons, I don't know if the people who are on this show are like 100% Mormons, because I don't even think they would even really be allowed to be on this show. It's similar to Scientology a little bit. Like, they're really private with the things that they believe, and they don't want to be looked at in a negative way. And with the Real Housewives franchise, it's all about indulgence and splurging and living fabulous and all that stuff. And even though from what I know of the Mormons, it really is for the most part, about money, which is like most religions. It's just some are more extreme than others. I just was like, I want to know like what type of people are going to be on this show. Okay. So we've got 6 housewives. Forgive me if I don't remember all of their names off the top of my head because I don't have any notes. Again, I'm not doing a review of the show. I just want to talk about some of the things that I saw that I really wanted to speak about, and it just kind of triggered me. Okay, so here we are. The first one that was introduced, her name is Jen. She is mix of Hawaiian and some other, thing I don't remember. But none of it is black. None of it is African American. None of it is African. None of it is black, period, okay? But she's married to a black man. They have 2 sons. So her children are black, mixed with, whatever she is, what all she is. And she says that she was, I guess, she came to Utah when she was a young girl, and she's been a Mormon for as long as she could remember. But when she got married to her husband, she wanted him to convert to becoming a Mormon, but he was like, no, you must be crazy, because they didn't accept blacks into their religion until the 70s. And when she found that out, she was like, this is crazy, a religion that doesn't accept my husband or my children. I'm out of here. So she converted to becoming a Muslim. Okay. So 2 things she said in this beginning that triggered me. The first thing she said was that, okay, I am Hawaiian and this and that and the other, but in Utah, I'm black, because that's all that they know other than being white. The opposite is black. And I'm like, girl, you are not black. Nothing about you is black except your husband and your children. You may have black in you when he is, you know what, to you, but you ain't black, okay? So that triggered me. And 2, she said she converted to Islam. Now, from what I know of Islam, you have to respect that religion if that is what you are. They also want people who aren't it to respect it. And I don't disrespect anyone's, religious beliefs. I mean, I understand them, but I won't disrespect them. So for her to say that she converted to becoming a Muslim, and then she says in her little confessional, "Assalamu alaikum, bitches." It's very disrespectful. Very disrespectful. And I am not a Muslim, but that triggered me. If I were, a Muslim and I saw that, that would completely turn me off from this chick. And I said those are the 2 things that triggered me that she said. But there are some other things that she said and did that triggered me. So we'll talk about that. Another one that I wanted to talk about, which I wasn't really sure how I felt about her until the second most recent episode. Her name is Whitney. She is, in the first episode, she was getting her, I don't know if it was vow renewal or she was actually just getting married, but I think it was a vow renewal, 10 years, to her husband. Well, when they met, they both were married to other people and they were working together and they had an affair and they wound up becoming a couple, and they've been married all of these years. She has a father who has been dealing with prescription drug addictions, and also because of the relationship that she had with her now husband, they were both excommunicated from the Mormon church, so she's no longer a Mormon. Okay, I can respect her no longer being a Mormon. Again, like I said, I won't disrespect anyone's religious beliefs, but that religion, anyway, I'm sorry. I'm a black woman, and to hear about a religion that's like, at some point in time, they didn't accept black people, but later on they will, that just goes to show you that that's all about money. It's not because they've seen the light and Jesus came to them and said, let there be African Americans in this religion, and then they started accepting them. No, it was about money. It wasn't even about I don't believe it was even about acceptance. I believe it was about accepting Black people's money if they want to be a part of this church, period. So she, to me, seems like she's okay. And we'll see, as we go along. I wouldn't say that I'm okay with somebody who was getting with someone who was married to somebody else, but that's her personal stuff, and they made it work. And all these years, 10 years later, they're still together and they renew their vows. So we shall see. But she's taking care of her dad, and she said that in the Mormon church, they see drug addictions as it's something that you just have to deal with. You made the decision to imbibe, so you just have to deal with the consequences of it. They don't see it as a struggle or a disease or something, along those lines. And so she was like, I'm happy actually that I'm no longer a Mormon, because I'm here for my dad in a way that I probably wouldn't be if I was still a part of that church. So I can respect that. All right. So Mary is married to her step-grandfather. She is not a Mormon. She's actually a Pentecostal pastor of a church that her grandmother left for her to be in charge of. She says she doesn't like to be called a pastor because that sounds like an old lady. And so she also said that the marriage is sort of an arranged marriage because her grandmother said if anything happened to her, she wants her husband to be with one of her girls because they would take care of her. Now, I'm curious. I would love to see that will. Just curious, just out of curiosity, because I'm wondering, did you misunderstand what your grandmother actually meant? Maybe she didn't actually mean for you to hook up with her husband after she's gone, but that if anything happens to me, I want my grandchildren, I should say, not children. I want my children and my grandchildren, my family, to be here for you. I want them to take care of you, not take care of you. Sorry. But I'm just like, maybe you misunderstood that, Mary, because you're not Mormon. Because here's the thing. The Mormons, and especially in that sect of the Mormons where it's the FLDS, they marry the family. They, like one of the girls who is in that Escaping Polygamy show, she said she was being courted by her 42-year-old uncle. Another one was married to her cousin. That is the type of stuff that they do in that Mormon, community. Mary is not even Mormon. She's she's Pentecostal, is what she says her religion is. I just don't understand it. I'm thinking, I'm hoping that you're just telling us this to make it seem like, well, if I say it this way, then maybe they'll understand it, versus what it really was supposed to be. Because I'm thinking that if your grandmother said anything, it was more so like, I just want my family to be able to take care of my husband if anything happens to me, not get married to one of my granddaughters. I don't see that. Because what would it be? I don't know what the age differences are or were between Mary and her sisters or cousins or whatever. But what would it be about Mary? There's something about Mary. Oh my God. I don't know why that movie title just popped in my head. But what is there about Mary that her grandmother would choose for Mary to now be her her widower's spouse. It's just very weird, very, very strange, very creepy. But we'll see what more comes of it throughout the season, because the first 2 episodes, they really haven't shown us much about the relationship that Mary has with her now husband. They've only really shown one confessional where she was sitting with him and she said that, it's kind of like an arranged marriage. Like, that's when she was explaining it, and he kind of laughed, but we haven't seen any interactions like we've seen with the other housewives so far, with their children or their spouse or all of it, or in their house. All they've shown so far of Mary to us is the clips of her being in the church and the interactions with the other ladies. And she just doesn't seem like she has anything in common with these ladies. So I'm still trying to figure out, besides the weird relationship, what was it about this woman that caused them to choose her as one of the housewives of Salt Lake City? I don't get it. I really don't get it. And so I guess we shall see. But Mary offended Jen, who, like I said, she already triggered me. And again, I don't know when this happened, but Jen had a party at her house, which she calls her ski chalet. She had a birthday party for one of the ladies. I believe she had a birthday party for Meredith, I believe, who's one of the other housewives. But it was all about Jen. Jen made a grand entrance into the party. Jen is just very, 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 very extra. And when I say she's very extra, the lips are extra, the cheeks are extra, just her face is just very, very extra. And she just needs to let some of that filler just dissipate, because it's just way, I'm sorry, it's just way too much. And I just don't know what it is about a lot of these women that do this to themselves, because with this Mormon thing, one of the things that the women have been saying, that Mormons teach perfectionism and perfection is attainable, but perfection really is not attainable. None of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. None of us will ever be perfect. We can try to do different things that will make us better in some way, but it's just ridiculous. It's not a standard that anybody can ever reach. And when you're just filling those lips up and those cheeks up with all of that filler, you're definitely not perfecting yourself. You may be trying to freshen yourself up, but you can go too far. And I just feel like a lot of them have just gone too far, okay? But anyway, Jen and Mary got into it because Jen was bringing up something that Mary said, and I'm not sure when this happened. I'm not saying that it's okay, but I don't know why Jen chose to bring it up at this party, because I'm thinking, all right, is this some played up drama for the show? Because I don't think this happened a couple of days ago or a week ago. Jen was saying how her family member, I believe an aunt, had her legs amputated, and she came and met out with Mary for dinner, and I guess some other people, and Mary said that it smelled, she either smelled like hospital or it smelled like hospital, and Jen said that hurt her feelings. Okay, why are you bringing it up at this party? You're throwing a birthday party for your friend, which you made yourself the center of attention for because it was at your house. You're getting the spotlight on you. The backdrop didn't say happy birthday Meredith or whatever her name is. It said the Shaw Chalet, because her last name is Shaw, Jen Shaw. It was all about her. And even Meredith said, I knew that this really wasn't a party for me. I knew this was for Jen. So yeah, they did this for the show, but I'm like, why are you bringing this up at this party? Why didn't you bring it up then? Or even if you didn't bring it up at the moment, this is definitely played up for the show. Played up drama for the show. Oh my God. And I mean, it just kind of reminds me why I stopped watching The Real Housewives of Orange County, because I used to watch that from the onset, from the beginning. And The Real Housewives of OC, they started it all. It was the first Real Housewives show. It wasn't even a franchise. It was just, that was it. The Real Housewives of Orange County. And then they started bringing on other cities. I believe Atlanta came after that, and then it was New York City. But anyway, I'm like, this is a ridiculous fight. I'm not saying that Mary was right in what she said. Yeah, she probably did hurt her feelings, but like, you're bringing that up here. You're bringing that up here. Okay, whatever. I'm still trying to figure out what Mary's place is on this show. I just don't see it yet. But again, only the second episode has aired so far. So I guess we will find out. I know I didn't really mention any of the other ladies, but to be honest with you, it's like, whatever. But there's one woman who's divorced. She owns a beauty laser clinic. Another one, she has a vodka company, several vodka companies, but they're not allowed to drink. And the other one, Meredith, who had the birthday party, she and her husband, I guess they're separated, but they didn't reveal that on the first show because he lives primarily in New York and she's primarily in Utah because of the business. So yeah, we'll see what else comes of it, but I'm still trying to figure this one out. But this show definitely had me triggered. I really want to know what you guys feel about the women on the show. How do you feel about the show? Do you think it's going to be a good season? Do you think this is, one of those shows that you continue to watch? I'm just going to check it out just to see. But as I'm watching it, I'm just like, that's pretty much how my facial expressions have been watching the show. But Jen, that girl, you're not black, okay? You're not black. Please don't go there. I just because the people in Utah don't know what race you are because you're not always constantly saying it, and they know that you're not white, does not mean that you are black. You're not black. You're not. So yeah. And I don't even know if you're really Muslim. You say you converted, but that's yet to be seen. But anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts on the ladies of this show in the comment section. Are you here for it? Are you not? I'm interested in Utah as Salt Lake City as a city, and just seeing what's going on there because I've never been before. But as far as these ladies go, it's extremely over the top. All of the designer labels and all of that crap. Even Mary, who's the preacher, the pastor of the church, she was showing all of her labels, and I'm like, what pastor is living like that? And then there have been some stories about her as well, about how she kind of has maybe a cult following in her church, and a lot of the people are just giving all that they have to her. So if that's true, it would explain how she's able to buy all of those labels, but we'll find out more. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to talk about it, so you guys let me know your thoughts on this show and the people, the characters, and these situations in the comment section. And then until the next video, we'll just leave it at that. So thanks for joining me. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. This is a Minister of Beauty, here to share the Bible. That's business, inspiration, beauty, life, and enjoyment. And I will see you next time.